Right. And you know, we've recognized for a long time a lot of these like religious themes that are in pop culture movies. And, you know, people always have the question, like, are they sitting in a room, like trying to like come up with these ideas? How can we deceive people in the world? And, you know, there's no way that all these different production companies spread over all these different years. I mean, we're talking thousands of people, thousands of different writers. How are they having this consistent theme of this story played out? And I really honestly believe because there is a spiritual force behind that is imbuing these thoughts with these people, and they don't even realize where they're coming from. But I think in terms of putting these kind of ideas out there and combining church and state back and putting them in Christian films, you know, even when we talked about and brought this up on that segment that talked about God's Not Dead, there was people that were like, "What? Why do you think this is a bad thing? Like how dare you? We need God back in the system." And you know, this is why we're kind of having this discussion right now. Is we want to understand, like, yes, we all truly believe that everybody needs God, but when you put God in the forceful situation of a legislative body that's saying believe this or there's going to be problems, there becomes a spiritual deficit there that we need to understand.
So because that's a possibility of happening, we shouldn't put religion in there at all? Because you understand how you can't run away from it, especially living in a democracy and we're voting. Someone votes from their perspective. They vote from their ideology, their moral compass.
Of course.
And so if the population is largely one thought process, it's going to find its way within government. I think the problem is when the reverse happens, when the government starts imposing things on the people.
Absolutely. I think that it was a bad mistake to take the Ten Commandments out of the schools. I mean, those are things that everybody should, I bet, identify with, right? Like, you know, you shouldn't steal from people. You shouldn't kill them. You shouldn't do these things that the whole world would benefit from not doing those things. But,
you know, no, it's very interesting that because this discussion is really great. We're actually going to find out that not only should the Ten Commandments not be in school, but prayer shouldn't be in school. Now, because a lot of the framework for how we've understood how America should be has been through received wisdom. And the Constitution is very clear on matters, and this is why there was always supposed to be proper Christian education, because how in the world can a public school run by the state properly teach morality? And this is why having the church, you know, properly spiritual and educating the children, you know, people who wanted their children to be raised that way wouldn't have to worry about all the immorality and all the sexual stuff happening in the schools, where they could just have this one sphere where it's proper and they don't have to worry about all those nefarious, you know, elements.
But it's not, right?
I'll say it again.
In terms of the Constitution, neither education or that concept of church and state are found within it.
Well, that's becoming a argument that is used. And especially, for those that do advocate it, because it's a very good point. It's really a misunderstanding of what the Constitution is clearly saying. Because, when the Constitution talks about that, at no time, should religion be used as a test for public service and all of these things, persons may try to rework that to infuse their ideas of what they think that means, but it's very, very clear. Because, again, going back to, the understanding of morality, because true morality starts in the heart, the state can never govern in that realm. And even if a person is Christian, their Christianity, yes, is going to influence how they make decisions, but there is a general morality that society has to abide by that is not necessarily attached to Christianity. Because in a Hindu society, everyone can't kill each other. Everyone can't, practice extortion. Everyone can do all these things. Yes, in principle, they're in the Ten Commandments, but even if you're in a Muslim society, everyone can't steal. Everyone can't, do all of these things that society would break down if they were permitted,
Mm-hmm.